done for me lately? It's Coons. What have y'all done for us lately? And if there's no answer, the only thing we owe them.
Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome. I must say that it's been a very, very eventful last week or so. Haven't been able to go live due to some unforeseen circumstances, but things happen for a reason. I don't think things happen by mistake, but it is definitely a pleasure of mine. Sister Azima has allowed herself to come on the show. Every other Tuesday, Sister Azima will be joining us at 8 o'clock, hopefully. So, the response from her last show was very well taken and is very appreciative on my part. And I'm glad she's joining us tonight to talk about something I think that, in my personal opinion, I think it scares people when they hear this type of stuff. But it's very, very, if you allow yourself to really think about what's being said and use your understanding, is very simplistic because it's right in your face. This is everything that goes on around us. So, Sister Azima, good evening.
Good evening, everyone. I'm humbled. I greatly appreciate you having me back. I would like to open with another affirmation, if I may.
Absolutely.
Okay. When the power of love overcomes, let me start again. When the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. And that's where we are right now. For once, melanated skinned people are learning to love themselves. And through that love, we're able to vibrate it and resonate it out to others. And as others see and feel, truth demands to be looked at. The lies that we have been, good evening, Ebony, the lies that we have been telling ourselves or accepting will now dissipate. And we're going to talk about some key things, chaos and all of that. I have to give you the second half of this, which is the divine power. And there's a reason for that, because divine power means that just like in math, one can only go into itself one time. That means it has reached its divine limit, its threshold of resonating frequency. So therefore, nothing else can divide into it except itself. So when we speak, we're speaking how the world needs to come into us, because we are the world. And I know that sounds spooky, but we're going to talk about the science of it. Okay, and it's important. I want you to understand, not understand. Understand is where we've been. Under a patrilineal feudal system, wars in America have existed for more than 286 years. The country is only 400 some odd years old, and we've had wars half of the time America, United States of America, has existed. And that doesn't make sense to me. There's never been a moment or a place of peace. That's not true. But this is what You have been taught. And all history relates to that. Everything relates to that. And I am going to ask you to get a pencil and a piece of paper because we need to write down the 7 things that make a civilization. And that's imperative for you to know. Because if you don't know it, what happens is that you won't be able to see the ridiculousness of things that are going on in front of you. So let's do our divine order mantra. Divine order takes charge of my life and your life today. This is a new and wonderful day for all of us today, and there will never be another day like this one. We are divinely guided all day long in everything we do, everything we hear, everything we say, everything we see, everything we touch, everything we smell, everything we eat will prosper for itself and for us. We are surrounded by divine love and protection. We are so grateful for these benefits and righteous acts. And we say Ashe. I don't say amen because amen is a real person. Amenhotep, the father of Tutankhamun. Okay, are you giving homage to him or are you giving homage to the divine energy within you? So you say Ashe to give homage to the divineness within you. Ashe. Thank you for letting me open. Okay, so I have some instruments here. I hope you can see this. The metal drum. I have a shaker rag. And of course, half of a tambourine. Why do I have these? Because you are a musical instrument. You are a vibrating frequency. How do I know that? You know that. And let me give you an example. You get sick, you go to the doctor. The doctor asks you a lot of questions. Oh, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Tell me what's going on. And you do all of this talking. And then the doctor invariably says, let me check you. I'm going to listen to you. Puts on his stethoscope because I have one. I should have brought it. And then he puts the stethoscope next to different parts of your body. And he's listening. Breathe out, breathe in, sit up straight. Okay, cough. Do you know what he's listening to? He's listening to the way your organs and your body vibrates from within. Why? Because you are a vibrating frequency. Frequency means how often your life energy is moving. Vibration means that it is undulating. What we know from NASA is that there's something out there called dark matter or black matter energy, and it literally snakes through space. Like you see a snake on the ground or coming through water, it snakes through all that we know. And space is filled with sound. I was telling Brother Quentin, there's a lot of sound in space, contrary to what you've been educated. So here you are at the doctor's office. He's listening, the doctor is listening for all these sounds. When there is a frequency or a sound pattern that's different, the doctor orders tests. Well, we're going to test your heart. Oh, you didn't sound, we're going to run some tests to see if you have something wrong with your stomach. We're going to take a better look at your colon. You need to go get a colonoscopy. These are the reasons. Why would the doctor decide that? Because listening to your body, your sound is not vibrating at its highest level, at its peak performance. Therefore, you are a little askew. Your frequency is dipping instead of peaking. Okay? You're not vibrating at your best. You remember we talked the other day? And you walk in a room and you feel the vibe of the room. You can feel the frequency of the room. Believe me, those people aren't speaking harsh to you. Their body is vibrating at a level that makes you uncomfortable. So this is not where I need to be. I'm out of here.
The
That's
vibe was off. It was off in there. I don't know
right,
what was going on. It was off.
right. And you leave. Now you're laughing because you're like, yeah, I thought, yeah, but that's what's going on with you. So we're going to talk about vibratory energy, how important it is. I'm going to hit my kettle drum, okay? And you've heard this, the Caribbean kettle drum, okay? So they always tell you there's a big bang. And now I have to tell you about Modern Family. I think that's the name of the TV show. There's a little
Mhm.
boy on there by the name of Sheldon. Sheldon. He was in church. Preacher was talking, saying how the Big Bang came about and God spoke. And Sheldon, this is the only time I've ever seen this. It was on a little TikTok. Sheldon interrupted the pastor and said, Pastor so and so, what did God say? And he said, I don't know, Sheldon, but God spoke to us. And so he kept on preaching. And then he came back to that same scenario. And Sheldon said, oh, yeah, there was a big bang. All right. And God said, boom. Okay. That doesn't make sense. But what we do here in space is this sound. You say it yourself. Oh. Oh, what a frequency, right?
Mm-hmm.
When that frequency is vibrating against your light energy, you are light energy, Light, not lightweight energy, but light energy. You are moving at such a frequency that it literally determines how your physical form or your physical anatomy will coalesce and become a solid. Now, I want you to put up Ankh Ujasaneb for me, please. We're going to sing this. I'm going to sing it to you, and I hope you all get the pattern of it, because when you're having a rough day, this is a good little mantra to say. It's Ankh Ujasaneb. It's the Kemetic language, but it sounds like this. You're going to repeat this word 5 times, 4 times real fast, and the 5th time you're going to drag it out. So it sounds like this. Ankh Ujasaneb. Ankh Ujasaneb. Ankh Ujasaneb. Ankh Ujasaneb. Ankh Ujasaneb. One more time. Ankh Ujasaneb. Ankh Ujasaneb. Ankh Ujasaneb. Ankh Ujasaneb. Ankh Ujasaneb. And it's just basically saying joy, prosperity, happiness. So when you're having those bad days, you're on the highway, stuck in traffic, frustrated, all of that, you can put this ditty, this mantra in your mind, Ankh Ujasaneb, and say it. You will be amazed how it lifts your frequency because you're vibrating. You are a frequency that vibrates. Why do you vibrate? Because you came into existence and decided to take on physical form. That is the only way we can touch anything, we can change anything, is to take on physical form. The reason I have the instruments is because you heard this, okay? And what they did is they took that same energy and they put you in the church to give you this. I don't know if you hear it, but this is how snakes sound. Do you know how important it is for this? This gets your attention. Why is that important? Because, like anything in life, vibratory energy and frequency can become mundane. You can slow down, or you can speed up, or you're not willing to make a change. And so this frequency gets your attention. Hello, it's like blowing your horn. Don't hit me. This gets your attention. It gets your attention, so you'll do certain things. Why was this used in the Black church? To get your attention so that you will never read anything other than they tell you what to read. Because now it makes it spooky instead of spiritual. This came before this. People on the continent, and even here in the Americas, or Turtle Land, this is what was called the Turtle Island, had this. This is a gourd with beads. Okay, this is what it sounds like. What does it do? It gets your attention like this, but it also gives you a spiritual sound like that. This is the proper way if you're going to mechanically make these same sounds. It is important for you to know how you're vibrating. That vibratory energy is known as your consciousness.
Mm.
And when you are not in tune with your consciousness, you misjudge yourself. And when you misjudge, what happens? Everything falls out of sync. And the next thing you know, you're having a problem. Why are you having a problem? Because you failed to listen to your frequency. We're here today to learn how to listen to your frequency, to yourself, and to understand that self is your ability to talk to God. You can have a one-on-one conversation. You don't need a middleman. And that's what religion does. It becomes the middleman. It gets to interpret what they want you to hear. Now, I don't know if you all are paying attention to what's going on over there in Gaza. I wasn't paying much attention to it. Shame on me. But it has come to pass, and I didn't know this until I heard some of the Palestinian people speak, that Israel and Palestine had passed a law preventing the Jewish people from getting DNA tests, or the 23andMe type of thing. And this came out of this gentleman's mouth. And he went on to say there was a reason for it, because as many of them got their results back, they found out they weren't the chosen ones, that the Hebrews, the black folks of, there was no Mesopotamia, but of Sumer and all the areas of North Africa were the original people of that region. And it wasn't until the Khazars were forced during the wars with the Russians and the other Bolsheviks into a do or die situation, they decided to convert to Judaism. They became proselytes. What's a proselyte? One that I prophesize I'm going to be, or identify as, a single white woman today. So I'm prophesizing, I'm proselyting.
That's what you identifying as?
And that's what they did. Huh?
I said, that's what you identifying
And that's
as?
what they did for, well, just for this example here.
Yeah.
But they have done it for so long, everybody believed it. And now they can no longer do it, because the people that they're basically attacking or the black and brown people that look like us in Palestine, and all kinds of crazy stuff is going on. They have taken on a very prejudiced approach to people of a different color than them. They're making it a color issue instead of making it a spiritual issue. And so all of the things that we're seeing on the planet, and not just this planet, but our entire solar system, is in a frequency vibratory reset. That's why you have days where you just don't know, I'm so tired, I don't know what I'm doing. The energy fields are changing. Can I have the picture of the pineal gland, please? The pineal gland is about the size of a grain of rice. I don't know if you can see it. But your pineal gland is this dark blue line right here. All of this here is your thalamus, and it goes down. This yellow piece down here heads into your spine. So when you are at your temple, which is between the temple, this is your temple, not the church you go to, but this is your temple. When you are in your temple, in your place of great meditation, great thought, a place of graciousness, you learn how to forgive yourself. We are taught by all religion to forgive others, but are you taught how to forgive yourself? Because if you're never taught how to forgive yourself, then you can't vibrate at your self frequency. You will always feel off. You will always feel alone. There will always be something upsetting you. And we must understand. That's why I always say, go within. You must go within before you can go without. To be within yourself allows you to be graceful, gracious, humble, and grateful. Those are acts of love. If you've never driven a car, you can't teach someone else to drive. If you've never flown a plane, you can't teach someone to fly a plane. If you've never known how to love thyself, you can't love someone else. And that's very imperative for us to be able to understand that. Frequency vibration basically says, you've always heard scientists say, first there was chaos. Do you know what chaos means? They spell it CHOA, chaos, OAS, okay? But it's really spelled KA, okay, and OSA. Ka-as. Ka is your spiritual energy. And as means it's not organized. It's like a newborn baby. Even though you're holding that baby can't get up and go to the bathroom on its own. It can't feed itself. It is unorganized in how to structure itself in its new realm. So chaos just means that your spiritual self, okay, not your soul. Your soul is what animates the body and keep it going. Your spiritual self is your true identity. That's the energy we see before we see your physical form. So your ka is unstructured, unorganized. It doesn't have enough history to know how to bring itself into certain vibratory levels of energy. Mm-hmm. So they tell you it's chaos, it's unorganized, it's all over the place. You know, this is hell and all that kind of stuff. But no, that is not true. Hell is when you have the inability to go within, where you always stay in a state of unorganized self. You know, when you walk in your house or whatever it is you need, whether it's your music, an instrument, an object, or your home, if you go in there and it's not in the order that you placed it in, then it's in chaos to you. Your spiritual energy can't pick up the frequency it's putting down. So you are in a state of agitation, sadness. All of these things are emotions. What are emotions? It's the ability to emote how you feel or how your unstructured self is not at a place where it can vibrate at a flowing frequency. That's what's going on. The more you understand that, the better it is to move away. My husband used to always tell me that once someone has seen the light or has heard the truth, they can never unhear it or unsee it. Better yet, there's a brother by the name of Roderick Martin. He's on the Billy Carson's channel. He's all about UFOs and space. But he said something I thought was very interesting. He said, the mind is blind when the eyes, no, how did he put it? The eyes are blind when the mind can't see. Think about that. Your eyes are blind when your mind can't see. And what happens is that there's a lot of stuff you are looking at, but you have been programmed to dismiss it. It's like the horse that's walking with the blinders on. He can't see on his peripheral vision. He only sees what's ahead of him. And so you are programmed never to look or think outside. And I don't want to say outside, but you're not taught to think within. You're only allowed to think outside of yourself. So it brings about unhappiness. We have holidays that come and people are miserable during these holidays. They're supposed to be holy days. Okay. And once again, we're going to talk about the etymology of a word. You need to go look up the word, its origin. Holy has nothing to do with Jesus Christ. Holy was when in the Garden of Eden, for lack of a better word, Adam and Eve were taught how to procreate. Those were the holy days. They were given 12 days out of the year to procreate so that they didn't have to come back and recreate the slaves that they wanted to mine the planet for the gold and the silver and all of the things they needed to save their world. The Anunnaki did. So you are programmed, like in the movie Matrix, you're programmed to see certain things. That programming goes against your vibratory frequency. It keeps you from vibing within the inner realms of yourself. Once you get to your true self, everything that you think about yourself, the good, the bad, the ugly, the joy, the happiness, the sublime, all of that is you. And I tell my daughters and my grandchildren, there is no good or bad, no right or wrong. It's only wrong when you try to pretend you fit in a place you don't, because you do not have the knowledge or the ability to produce a frequency to allow you to remain there. If you're not a gangbanger and that's not where you need to be, that's not where you need to be.
As they say, get in where you fit in, right?
Right. So you have to go where you belong. And then when you're there, you must better understand your purpose. Everyone has a purpose. Everyone has a job. Everyone has a duty in order to make sure that our entire solar system remains in harmonic frequency balance. Because nothing is supposed to be equal or even. So let me explain what I mean. If Brother Quentin is a wealthy man and his needs is that he has to be able to access certain types of capital to build a fleet of ships, I'm not equal to him in that realm. So should I receive the same monies that he's getting? No, when all I want to do is just build a house down the street and around the corner. But the system has you believing everything should be equal. No, no, it has to be in balance. What's good for you is good only for you. But what's good for that person is only good for that person. And when we understand that, it removes jealousy, it removes anger, it removes hostility, it removes want, it removes desire. It replaces it with the knowledge that you can obtain and achieve your goal. Will you put up the flower of life for me? These frequencies that vibrate around, these frequencies, they are frequencies. They look like circles, but this is really a snake wrapping around itself. Where else do you see that? That's your DNA chain right there. It's also your spine right down the middle. The sacred images that you see is really explaining to the enlightened person that when you're out of balance, you need to call upon the flower of life to bring you back into your harmonic balance. You need to call upon this type of energy to bring you back to where you belong. That brings me to horoscopes. You can take this down, please. We think, oh, I'm going to go get my chart read. Well, that's not what we're talking about. The purpose of the astrological signs or the understanding of it is that we have planetary bodies, and all of our planets do not move at the same frequency as Earth. Earth has its own frequency sound. We wanted to be able to put that up for you, but we couldn't because it's something to do with copyright.
The copyright, because it's from YouTube, it'll be
Right.
a copyright issue. But like Sister Azima is explaining, you guys, when you listen to these sounds, you'll know that each planet has a different sound and vibration.
Right.
And
And
she actually sent me the stuff so I could hear it myself, and you will be amazed when you look it up and find out
well, he'll give
how
you
different.
the information on where to go and get it
Yeah.
because I want you to go and hear it. And there's a reason for that. So, getting back to what I was saying, everything vibrates at its frequency. Your role is that even though you may think it's very minuscule, but sometimes it's that breath of fresh air that allows you to breathe and think that becomes the most dominant or important thing in one's life at that time. So you play a very dynamic role, no matter how little you think it is, in order for all things to come into its harmonic balance. The harmonic balance allows life to be, and it is known as the womb. Before you can become masculine energy, you have to be feminine energy first. In the womb, everything is born as a woman. When the process says, and you yourself, that's a whole nother podcast, makes the decision, I'm going to be a man this time around. I need to take this energy and do X, Y, and Z. So you will come in as a woman. Why? Because you have to know compassion. That is how a man expresses love, through compassion. A man needs to be respected. For him, that's his cue for love. He knows you're going to love him, but do you love him enough to respect him? And a woman knows that you love her, men, because you're doing the man duties, as they say, but do you have compassion or empathy towards her? That's how she equates true love to her. The frequencies allow us to always talk back and forth. Before we used these things called words, they have always been sounds. Case in point, you have a newborn baby. You have a pet. None of them understand what you're saying, but they understand the frequency at which you say it and the vibrations underneath it to let them know that this is soothing. Now, I can sit here, I'm talking to you is very soothing, or I can say things like this and be very harsh. And you will be like, man, she's such a you know what. But that is the frequency. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some people need just a breath of fresh air and they can get it. Other people, you got to be firm, deliberate, sometimes very aggressive, not assertive, but aggressive, almost parasitic. And they go like, oh, the light went off. Yeah, I got.
Or they'll tell you you ain't got to yell.
But some of them, that is what they need. It is up to you to know who you are. You're not a bad person. You're not a good person. You're just you. And there's nothing wrong with being you.
Mm.
You are the spice and the variety that makes life unique. Everyone can't be a Quentin. Everyone can't be Azima. Everyone can't be Ebony. But all of that together, it's like an open field of flowers and plants and trees. You see such a variety, and yet it makes the landscape so beautiful. And it smells so rich. The smells help trigger certain frequencies within your body. When you pamper yourself, when you love yourself, when your id, the inner divine energy, your id, doesn't become your ego, the elimination of the God objective. Sometimes we forget that. We even make mistakes and raise our siblings or our children to be in their ego and not their id. And in the end, it comes back to bite you. Many of us have a hard time just saying, I'm sorry. You have a right to be angry with yourself. You have a right to cry. You have a right to express everything about yourself. But you don't have the right to demean anyone or be narcissistic or decadent to anyone. Because now you're only being narcissistic and decadent to yourself. And we say karma, but karma is nothing more than action. If you give off a certain type of action, like a rubber band, you can only stretch it so far. Then when it comes back, it's going to pop you. And it's going to pop you hard the further out you stretch it. So when you are demeaning and all of these negative, negating frequencies and vibratory energy, it comes back to you. It goes full circle. And then it comes back, dragging other planets, other energies, other thought patterns with it. And now what are you going to do? It overwhelms you. And people like that become so humble. Oh, save me, help me. But no one can travel your road except you.
Mm.
My job is not to fix your problems. Azima means to have the ability to help other people see their truth. That's what Azima means. That was my gift, to allow other people to see their truth and to give them the tools to be able to address issues within their truth, to fix things within their truth. Sometimes fixing it only means to identify it. When you have the ability to identify something, that's half the battle. Why? Because once you know it's there, if you know you're always buying, you don't have a lot of money, you get a lot of flat tires, and you're buying them from a guy that just dips them in water, throws a little tar on it, and gives it back to you, you've learned not to go to him to buy more tires. So once you have the ability to go within, you have the ability to identify what you consider your strengths and your weaknesses, or even your neutrality, because that's where you're supposed to be, in harmonic balance with self. Once you're in harmonic balance with self, you don't have wars, you don't have famine, you don't have people starving, because there's no need to be superior to someone. All of those actions are actions of fear. When you are afraid, you lash out. You must be stronger than or superior to. This is what they teach you. Be brave, be strong. Don't let nobody know you scared. Be so and so and so and so. And what does that do? It only creates more of the same. So 7,000 years have come and gone, and the world has said enough.
Hmm.
And like I was telling Brother Quentin, and I say it to a lot of melanated skinned people, we have been the moral compass of this solar system for 7,000 years or more.
Hmm.
And the new kids on the block have been brats. And we have come to the conclusion that we can't talk to them. We're going to step back and let the universe give them their karmic slapping. And that's what's going on. We have decided we're not going to raise your children. We're not going to interact with you. Do you know what hurts more than anything else? And I'm giving parables here. I often hear women say, I hate that man, I'll never love him. But hate and love are the same emotion. They're just on opposite ends of the pendulum. Indifference is a sign that you don't care. And when people reach a place of indifference, they're not going to go out of their way to do it. And and if you don't believe me, you all have been in places where you've seen people hurt or shot or accidents, have automobile accidents or whatever. You don't jump out of your car and run over there and help them unless you've been trained as a nurse, where the EMT, the emergency aspect of you steps in. You don't run over there and get involved. You go, ooh, I hope they're better. And you move on because you're indifferent. You don't know that person. It doesn't impact you. And so melanated skinned people, we have always been the compass, the moral compass. And now we're trying to heal ourselves. And when we're healing ourselves, we don't have time for your shenanigans. We're not supporting the war over there and in any place else. And I'm
We
not
indifferent, right?
right. When Trump was president, and this is not to say it doesn't matter either way. I just want you to look. When Trump was president, he was the only president that did not put America into a war. We were already in a war. And remember, he was bringing soldiers home. People were crying because they hadn't seen family members in 18 months and didn't know if they were going to get back. He was the only president that said, nope, we're running a business. We're running a business. Thank you, Brown Girl from Boston. Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
that's a very good friend of mine, Professor Drea. She is a associate professor, assistant professor down at Tuskegee.
Okay. You,
Graduated Tuskegee as well.
oh, yay. Thank you. Um, Once he got them out of war, it was funny. Just look at a lot. Here's some things you don't think about. What was that guy's name? Don. I don't remember his last name. His spiky gray hair. He was the promoter of many of the fights.
Oh, Don King.
Right. And so he went to every white guy and their casinos, and nobody would let him in. And he went to Donald Trump, and Donald Trump said, "Yeah, come on." And Don King became the king of money in the boxing arena, right? Okay. But what they tell you, Trump hates black people. Okay. So then when black entrepreneurs moved up the ranks and they were like, couldn't get a loan from a bank, you know how that works. And all of that, and they went to Donald Trump and got loans. And you can hear that from um, the two judges. They're the two black judges we see, male judges. They speak on it. You've heard it from many of the people in the music industry. They went and got a loan from Donald Trump. And Donald Trump set the terms and conditions. And when the people came to pay him his money back, and they met with him, they said they would hand him their check. He would look at the check and ask him, "How's your business doing?" and talk to them for about 10 or 15 minutes. And then he would take the check, tear it up, and hand it back to him. Says, "You paid your debt." Obama didn't do it. The Bushes didn't do it.
Watch yourself. You're talking about their president now.
I'm sorry, dead president. Or any living president. You know what? No other president has done this. No other entrepreneur had done this. And so these were things that benefited. Those things is where this man's vibratory energy was. He wasn't interested in what color your skin was. He wasn't interested in if you pulled your pants down or you talked dirty. He was interested in the moral compass of doing right with him. And when you did right with him, he knew that you were going to do right in the larger world.
Mm.
And that's all that's important. When you do right by you, going deep within you, then you have the ability to do right in the larger world. Why? Because you get a chance to look beyond the rose-colored glasses they put over your eyes, which blinds the mind. Like Roderick Martin said on UFOs for Black people, he said, he said the mind the mind can't see when the eyes are blind. So we have been blinded. Therefore, our mind couldn't see the truth. But when you go within, it allows you. Now, it doesn't mean that you're not going to cry. You're going to have all these emotional moments. You're going to have them. I had them. This became my way of life. In my bio, my family and I went and took that 23andMe test and the DNA test, and we found out that on both sides of my family, my mother's side and my father's side, that our family dates back more than 170,000 years ago. The Bible is only 5,000 years old. Whoop, we were here before then. You were here before then. We were already self-governing. A civilization. I told you I'd give you the 7 steps of a civilization.
Seven steps for a civilization. Everybody in the chat, if you don't know, we suggest that you get a pen and pad and write it down. This is seven things that make a civilization.
Mm-hmm. Family, spirituality, industry, agriculture, education, military or governance, and health. Every country, every world today uses these 7 principles. And they'll tell you they're the Hegelian principles. They're from the Greeks and the whatever. But before those entities even existed, we were here.
Sister Azima, what are they again?
Family, spirituality, industrial or industry, agriculture, education, military or governance, and health. No society can exist without these 7 divine principles. You have to know how to self-govern. You self-govern every day, because if you didn't, you wouldn't get up and do what you do on a daily basis. That's self-governing. You can be a family of one, or you can be a family of many. Your family doesn't always have to be your biological. They can be your spiritual family.
Sister Azima, I'm about to put a statement that Ebony put up here. She's going to put a smile on your face when I put it up here.
Okay. Oh, yes, it is. Yes, Missouri is the ancient Aborigine territory. And if you've ever been to the Cahokia Mounds, which I used to go to quite a lot, they keep shutting it down. The more we became interested in it, the more it became off limits. But yeah, your family, your spiritual self, it makes you create industry. Industry is anything where you can make something, textiles, whatever. The purpose of that is to make work easier. You become inventive, creative. You have to be able to eat. So you develop agriculture. You have to educate yourself. When you're born with all the knowledge of the universe. But it is buried deep within you, because we are condensing from all of this out here to something real tiny. Remember Aladdin when he said, I have all this power, I'm so great, but I live in a little tiny bottle? So when you're being born, you are condensing all of this information into you, all of your light knowledge within you. The word education is educo. You know what it means? It means to draw out. It doesn't mean I'm putting anything in. It's already in you. I just have to tap into it and help you draw it out as it relates to you. So you're drawing your knowledge out because it's there. I'm allowing you to pull it from the depths of your light form into the mind so the eyes can see it and the mind can see it. Military, that's all self-governing. And like I said, you self-govern yourself every day. Otherwise, you just be a blob on the street, just laying there, just a blob. But you're not that. You take care of your health and everything else that you have to do. That's self-governing. Okay, it is a powerful place. It's a powerful place. Thank you for that. And then, of course, health. We have been taught that wealth is everything external to you. But your wealth is your health. The greater your health, the better you vibrate, the higher your frequency, wealth runs to you. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody likes to be around a winner, a person that's energetic, always positive. You don't want to be over there with the naysayer. I'm like, girl, you see her, look at her. Or the guy going like, yeah, she ain't nothing but you. Oh, man, nobody wants to be around that 24/7. No.
Makes you think that's exactly what motivational speakers are able to tap into that energy because they always have a ball full of energy.
Right.
Like, what are you so happy about? And they just, like you said, they exude all this confidence.
But it's because they are in touch with themselves. And the greater they are in touch with self, you don't see the foolishness. I'm telling you, when you come to the realization that this really is a stage,
Hmm.
remember that saying, the whole world is a stage? Once you realize that this is a stage and you can be a character or you can be in the audience looking. And when you get tired, you just walk out because you're done. I was telling Brother Quincy, I said, my family, we kind of liked horror stories, We were those kind of people because it didn't bother us. And it got to the point where my children to this day won't take me to see a horror movie. You know why? Because I'll sit there and digest that movie and tear it apart. And they'll be like, Mother, you take away the suspense because you're telling us what's going to happen. I go, well, I can see it because I'm in tune with myself and I can see what's going to happen. And that's what happens. When you get in tune with yourself, you can see everything around you. You don't have to worry about avoiding anything. Now you got to get to that point and you're going to have those days. And that's okay. You have to have them. It's like learning to walk. You know why it doesn't hurt you now? It's because you did all the falling down when you were still young and limber. And now you have mastered the art of standing up and falling less. And it's written within the mindset what you need to do. So just like when you start learning yourself, it's okay. It's okay to fall down. It's okay to have those moments. It's okay. You have to have them in order to build upon what you want to change. Now, I am going to ask that as you start learning yourself, please don't listen to music that has words. Go out on your YouTube and look for instrumental music. Or better yet, go to YouTube and look up frequency vibration meditation. And they've got tons of them.
Um,
Why? Because it's going to vibrate those 33 vertebrae you have along your spine to help you come in tune with yourself. Even if you do it twice a week, give yourself 10 to 15 minutes to start. And then eventually you'll get, like me, I can go a whole day and listen, and it just makes me a happy person because I don't want to hear the words out of people's mouth because I know the meaning of the word, but they have distorted it for this purpose. And that purpose is to keep the masses of people in a state of fear, anxiety, and panic. How can you control anything if you don't make people fearful? And you ride in, I'm Superman or Superwoman, I'm going to fix this. Yes, 528 frequency is wonderful, Miss Rose, Blooming Rose. It's great. And so we need this. It's imperative that we do this. Because now it's personal, it's interpersonal. And the more you know about yourself, the less this out here concerns you. And you'll be surprised. You'll be like, I don't even know where they came from. People say, girl, you just living a lucky life. Miracles come to you. No, it's because you're learning yourself. And you are allowing yourself to vibrate at the frequencies that bring you the things you're seeking. You're not begging because they teach you most of your prayers, when you look at them, are begging. It's not working together. These mantras don't have you begging. Anku Jasaneb, what are you begging? You're saying love, peace, happiness, joy. Okay? You're not begging. When you're bringing that into being, it makes you happy. What's that guy? What's that song? Happiness, dun, 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 dun. I'm so happy, happy, happy. When you're singing that, you're elevating who you really are. And you are allowing yourself to heal. Oh, thank you. I do agree, sister. Thank you. You are allowing yourself to heal. You have to heal.
That's a question for you there.
Do you love the classic horror movies? I do, but I can't go. When I go, people always ask me at the movie theaters that know me if I would go watch another movie because I'll start telling you what's going to happen in the movie. And I don't even have to know the movie. I don't even have to see the movie. But I would tell them, just like in Paranormal Activity, I sat there and I was like, oh my goodness, I gotta go. Why? I said, because she's going to do this and this and this and this. And I didn't realize I was speaking out loud. And I got up, and later on, people came out and said, you know, you were right. She did all them things you said she was going to do. Well, of course, because when you are in tune with yourself, you can see, you honestly see where people will make a mistake, but you also see how music, that's an industry now, movies are an industry. What's the purpose of the industry? Is to make you fall under their rule of how a civilization should function. So in the industry, what does it do? The horror movies make you feel a certain way. And what is that way? Unsure, unsteady,
Mm,
high anxiety. Why?
mm,
The Conjuring, let me tell you something. An ex co-worker of mine, her grandfather passed away. She's a co-worker. She's the same age as my youngest daughter. I knew nothing of her grandfather. 4 days after he passed, I was in my house and there was a dark shadow of a man sitting in my living room. Now, I could be scared, but I wasn't because I know me. And I was like, can I help you? Isn't that stupid? But it wasn't. I asked him, I said, how can I help you? And that man started yelling at me. Now, of course, there were no words coming, but his energy was yelling at me. He was telling me to tell my co-worker's mother that there's a special insurance policy out there and she need to go get it. And I was like, hold on. Are you related to so-and-so and so-and-so? And he's like, yes. And I need you to tell her this. I said, well, I don't know her mother well enough, but I will tell your granddaughter. Now, this went on for 4 months. That man was here. And one day I caught him standing in front of my refrigerator. I said, dude, you can't eat no food, so don't be touching my refrigerator. I was talking to him like I'm talking to you. It did not frighten me. I ended up being a vessel, like in the movie Ghost with Whoopi Goldberg. You remember that when she said, get out of me? Everybody was going in and out of her because she had the ability to see them and talk to them and express to their families what they wanted to say. I have that ability. It's a gift. You have that ability. It's a gift. You don't have to run from it. It's just knowing you are at a point where you can elevate up to help someone. And it helped her. Her mother, we're now good friends, was able to receive that gift. As a matter of fact, he was so adamant, he told me the dollar amount, and I had to tell the family, and they were like, you're joking. And they kept telling me, no, it's not there. It's not there. I told them, here's where you go look. And when they went there and looked, it was there. And they were like, he was in your house? I go, yeah. He was interrupting me, waking me up in the middle of the night, telling me I need to talk to you. I said, dude, it's 3 o'clock. I'm not calling anybody at 3 o'clock in the morning. And we would hold this thing back and forth. And it was like it allowed me to not be alone because my husband had passed. I had company. We were talking, and I was doing a service for someone. And it made me feel good. And this is not the first time. I took a temporary job at JCPenney in their curtains department. What what do I know? An engineer, but I figure it's all mechanical. It's okay. I can figure it out. And a man came up there to order some things. And of course, my spiritual self identified him. And I started talking to him about the purchase he was making. And then it went right into what was going on in his life. And he looked at me and said, how would you know that? I said, because, and I gave him the name. There was a woman, and I gave him the name, and I said, she's right here with me, and she's telling me what I need to tell you. Well, the only reason he came back is because he needed to get his draperies or whatever that we had ordered for him. And when he came back and I told him what she needed me to say, he said to me, everything you told me happened. I don't know what to do now. I said, hold on, we're going to ask her. And she gave me the answer and I gave it to him. Well, I haven't worked at JC Penney since my husband passed away. And that's been 7 years now. But I did see this man. He's happy because the information I gave him came from other family members to allow him to make the right decision in his life. So never be afraid of these things. You are taught spooky. They're this. No. They're just like there are people out here who can physically hurt you because it's just within their vibratory nature right now. You can also have that when you are in your spiritual nature. But just like in your spiritual nature and in your physical plane, you take all the precautions you need to be sure it just doesn't happen. It's not like the movies where the Ouija board, I grew up playing on a Ouija board, never had any of the stuff I saw in the movies. I was like, what? I never. My mother, we grew up playing on the Ouija board. Never had that. I was just dumbfounded when I saw it in the movies. I'm like, wow. But see, that's the programming, the indoctrination, is to always keep you in a state of fear. Fear lowers your vibrational frequency, so you are not talking to yourself or learning.
Wow.
This is where I have to say I'm happy that you've allowed me into your time, your space. I hope you're able to learn from this. If you have any questions, let me know. Or Brother Quentin. And
You heard that, chat? If you guys have any questions pertaining to what Sister Azima is talking about or has talked about already, just put in the chat before we close out.
Because we do have a part two, and we will go over this in part two. Because there's some other things that I wanted to not teach
like
you.
Sister Azima said, like I said earlier, it is a pleasure that Sister Azima is going to be joining us every other Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you forward me any questions prior, I could forward them to Sister Azima, and she could try to answer to the best of her ability. You guys, someone did forward me a question. I asked Sister Azima, and we will get back to you on that answer.
Right, because there's some major changes going on right now with the laws pertaining to the question that you asked. And I've got to know what these changes are. So it's impacting me myself. So once I get a handle on it, I'll be more than happy to share this with you. And I just want everybody to know this is my way of life. This will become your way of life. And you will be very happy. Trust me, it doesn't mean that I don't miss the people that have transitioned. But what it means is that I still have the ability to speak to them when I need to get advice from them when it's necessary.
Got a question came in.
Okay, what's the question?
Professor Drea said, why do people with lower frequency fear, despise people whose frequency is high instead of increasing theirs?
Number one, they don't know how. Everyone around them within their immediate circle is vibrating at that same frequency. When you step out of that, it means that you're moving away from the church. the organized forms of religion. And you won't have fellowship. That's a scary thing. When I left the church, I grew up in the church. I was staunch Baptist. I sang at the church. I did everything, baptized in it and everything. But that was my indoctrination into a system. I believed in all the hokey pokey stuff. I started working for NASA and I ran into people who did those practices. And they would talk and teach me so much information. My mind was like, wow, okay. It expanded exponentially. What they're fearing is the loss of fellowship, the things that are most common to them. So with them, you have to do things in incremental steps. Basically what it is, like my husband said, and there's a book out there, a book and some tapes called POW, okay? The Power of Winning, POW. And what they do is that they show you that you must incrementally, little by little, take one step and change one aspect of something that you're doing on a daily basis. Just one, pick one. I'm going to change how I speak. And you just do that. And at the end of 30 days, you'll realize that you can no longer go back and speak low vibratory energy. You just can't.
You guys in the chat, I see the questions coming in. And every time I see a question for Sister Azima, it's to know her. You guys, you might start off a 5-minute conversation. I think you're just going to talk for 5 minutes, and then that conversation will be an hour. So don't think that the questions are bad questions. There's no such thing as a bad question.
There isn't.
And I know that when I put the question up there for her, it allows her to get more into what we're talking about, because sometimes you need the engagement so it could, as she said, educate, bring it out of her.
Right. So we just teach them to do it incrementally. And then over time, in 90 days, they have changed one aspect of themselves. But it takes 90 days.
How do you know?
I'm sorry, they're not able to go back.
Go ahead, Sister. Excuse me.
I was just wanting to finish that up for her. They're not able to go back. And that's what we have to do. It's not that they hate you or despise you. They hate and despise themselves because they don't know. Their circle is exactly like them. And they can't get above the circle. So there are processes, and we'll talk about those processes. You'll learn the processes, and you'll be able to help other people step forward. But they have to do their own work. You cannot do the work for them, which also means that you may vibrate up and leave them behind, but someone else who can help them will continue to help them move forward. Okay, how do you know you're operating in the proper frequency? When you're in a place of calm, well, however your calm is, some people's calm is playing ball. Some people's calm is music. Some people's calm is cooking. Some people's calm is exercise. When you reach your place of calm, you are in your proper frequency, because those are the things that you do that constantly bring that calm back to you all of the time. And it allows you to look at what we call sharps and flats in that frequency to be able to expand. We're no longer a single beat. You'll now be able to expand into the orchestra, a symphonic music, and that's your full calm. Okay. What are some tips for making more money in a way that vibrates, that vibrates and adds to one's frequency? Okay, understand money is a tool. Just like the tools you have to change a flat tire on your car or to change your battery, it is a tool. It has no other power other than to be a tool. How is that? When you realize you are your wealth and you bring your health to its wealthiest place, money will come to you. I'm going to give you a money mantra, and I want you to write it down.
Black Lorraine, this is for you. This is for you.
I need you to write this money mantra down. I have 2 of them, but I want you to write this one down. Okay. Money comes to me easily. Money comes to me fast. Money loves my company. When money comes, it lasts. Okay. Now, with that comes love comes to me easily. And you have to add that because you are your love. You must vibrate at that frequency to bring wealth to you. So you're going to have to, you have money, you have wealth, and you have peace. You have money, love, and peace. Money, love, and peace. You have to say those three things. Money comes to me easily. Money comes to me fast. Money loves my company. Money comes at last. And you do it as a mantra. What's the purpose of the mantra? See the rhythm of pattern? That rhythmical pattern sets your vibration into its proper frequency. Love comes to me easily. Love comes when it's you have to do that. You must say it in that manner to elevate your frequency to make sure it's working. And then peace comes to you. Okay. So money, love, and peace. And you're going to say that I have a whole bunch of them. Ching, ching, ching goes my money tree. And every time it chings, that is money for me. It flows to me so abundantly. top left, right, end up under me. So I have a whole bunch of them. They are mantra. Yes, it's the rhythm. And so once you learn the rhythm of the mantras, that is what elevates your frequency. They don't teach you that in religion.
He picked up on it.
Right. There you go. Thank you. All right. Anybody else?
We don't want to force nobody to ask no questions, but you guys are really, really good. It's one of the things about doing a show sometimes. You guys don't realize engagement is very important. It helps everyone. Yeah, that's it, Sister Azima.
Well, thank you. I thank you. Now I would like to reclaim our power because we've opened a vibratory portal. We've gone out. We're learning. But as we reclaim the power, the positive aspects of what we learn, the balanced aspects of what we learn are coming to us. And it teaches us how to control what we call our negated forms of our vibratory energy. So let me say this real quick. With love to all and harm to none, we call back our power from every person, place, or thing in this lifetime. We call back our power in this universe, in this galaxy, in this dimension, and any other. We call back our power clean, recalibrated, and only belonging to us. So mote it be. I am loved, we are protected, and we are in alignment. The reason you do that is that you're asking permission to open the channels to be one with the divine. And then when you're done, you're thanking them and saying, our time is up, and now we wish to end this conversation. So my time is up, and I thank you. Yes, Miss Rose. I thank you for allowing me into your life, your home. And your home isn't your physical place. It's your spiritual house. Ashe.
Shit. Hopefully, you guys, we will see you again with Sister Azima in the 26th. The 26th. So until then, take care. Everybody have a great night. Oh, one more. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Chris G, I'll let you come in with that wheel kick.
Okay. One more. How do you repel bad people that bother you from your frequency? Okay. I don't know what you mean by bad people. They're bad people. They're ignorant people. Do not lower yourself to them. You can say this. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to send this to Brother Quentin. I'm going to put it in an email to him, and he should be able to email it to you. But we're basically saying
I'll put it in the chat, you guys. After
Right,
the broadcast, I'll make
right.
sure that it's in the broadcast in the comments.
Mhm. So I'm just going to read it to you real quick. It says, once again, it's the mantra and it's the frequency. It says, everything I want, I already have. Everything I have is all that I need. Anything I desire, I will receive because my reality is created by me. Remember that. These people can't create their reality. You're getting ready to create yours. I am successful. I am peaceful. I am free. I am wise. I am potential energy, and like a phoenix, I shall rise. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am power. I am talent. I am mind. I am body. I am spirit. I am balanced. I am enlightened. I am fearless. I am outside the realm of time. I am part of the all, and I am one with the divine. You'll say this.
That's another one.
You will say this 3 times. You're going to say this for 9 days, 3 times a day for 9 days. And what it does is that it closes the realm so that there's no energy passing between the two of you because you're in two different places.
That's for you, Chris.
Okay. What was that question? What is it when your parents and grandparents nickname you or describe you? One word?
In one word.
Okay. In one word, you find they were on target. What is it when your parents or grandparents nickname? That's
Oh,
not a nickname. What they're seeing is your true spiritual frequency, and they give you that name to empower you.
mm.
So my name is Catherine R. Kennedy, Catherine Rusan Kennedy, named after my mother's mother and my father's mother. Never met either one of these women. They were both deceased before I was born. Pictures of them, I look like two of them together. That was very interesting. Both of them were shamans. I didn't know that. The only difference was that my mother's mother was almost 7 feet tall, and her husband was my height, 5'8". And my father's mother, or his father, he was 7'11" and she was 5'8". So it was interesting, but their spiritual energy always talks to me, always one with everything. But yeah, when the nickname is representing your true spiritual self, the frequency that you vibrate, keep it up. You're vibrating at a great frequency. It's a great name.
Take care, everyone. Have a great, great night, evening, week, and we'll see you guys on the 26th.
Thank you. Ashe.